Well, hey guys, it's Mike from Just Car People Things. It is a tanning weather kind of day here in the upper Midwest, which I would say is about 42 or 3 degrees. And that means it is time to go outside, and we've got a nice little stretch of weather here that's going to be probably above freezing during the day. And we had some rain over the last few days, probably washed most of the salt off the roads. So that puts me in the mindset of, hey, we should go wash our cars and take a few minutes. So we've got our 3 vehicles that we drive in the winter, the Camaro, the Tundra, and the GX, all parked outside, all backed out of their spots here in the garage. I've been doing all the prep work inside here in our heated garage to be able to get ready to go out and wash, so we can just immediately walk out and be ready to go, because when it's 42 degrees, 43 degrees out, you don't want to spend the day outside washing your car. I even took the liberty of prepping my buckets down here. These guys actually already have hot water in them out of the sink here to be able to go wash, and we're just sort of set to go. One product I'll mention that I've been using in the winter, and I've been pretty satisfied with it, it's not cheap, is 303 Salt Neutralizing Wash Boost. There's a chemical component in here that will remove salt from your vehicles. It's probably something a little bit acidic would be my guess, but that being said, it does work very well, I find, and is helpful in sort of taking that salt off the car, because when you get the salt kind of caked in the vehicle, it's got a crystalline structure, so you really got to use a lot of water to remove it from the vehicle. You're going to be rubbing that into your paint and making it look like garbage. So we've got our pressure washer set up, we've got wheel cleaner, we've got Honeydew Snow Foam, which is a decent Chemical Guys product I like for the dollar, and that's set in here. I put some of the wash boost in there. We've got some ceramic spray, regular detail spray. I do occasionally use the cheap tire shine. It works. It's not the greatest, but it works. And then I've got a diluted, I think it's an Adams product or Meguiar's product, which is their wheel cleaner. You dilute it about 4 or 5 to 1, so I can buy it by the gallon, and then it lasts me like a couple years. So we got some spare detailing brushes. We got all this down here. We actually got this cart for Christmas. My dad got me this for Christmas, and I'm super happy about it. It sounds really dumb, but just the ability to get everything set and then just all in one shot open the garage door. Again, it's heated in here, and I don't like heating the outside. That costs money. So that gives us the opportunity to just sort of roll everything out right at once, and even roll this around the vehicle. And if I run into a weird problem and say I need a particular brush, or need an interior detail brush, or need a little fine point or something, I can just come back here and sort of have like that rolling tool cart ready to go and use. So with that said, we're gonna roll the door open here and pull the pressure washer out real quick, and we'll go from there on the wash. All right. Hey, look, there's the whole fleet. All right, so I'm gonna wheel this outside. Things are gonna fall over. It'll seem like a mess, but it works. And then we're gonna wheel this outside. We're gonna make sure to get a lot of extra slack when I pull this out, because we've got the cars kind of parked 1, 2, 3, and the mail's here. So I'm just gonna grab a little bit of extra hose here just in case. So what we're now gonna do is we're actually gonna close the garage door again. And that's gonna, again, keep all that heat inside, so I'm not heating the outdoors. Make sure that's good when it goes down, and we're set. So now I can just exit here, and we can go get washing some cars. One thing I did want to mention too, I paid for a car wash on this car like probably a week or 2 ago, because it was really bad, and just I needed to do it before I was going to a work thing and everything else. And I gotta say, the quality of that car wash was not very good. I just really felt like it missed a bunch of stuff. You can almost see when you get down here on the front how the fingers sort of didn't fully clean the nose of this car on certain places and everything else. And obviously this is like kind of our beater pickup truck, right? It's a great truck, but it's not something I'm really worried about swirl marks and scratches and panicked about and everything else. But I really felt the wash that I got out of it wasn't very good, especially for, you know, 10, 12 bucks. So now we're going to do all 3 cars sitting here, probably for about 10 or 12 bucks total in supplies, if not less. So it's an opportunity, you know, to take that time out here when it's not like warm out, but at least we can go do this stuff and make it look good. So we're gonna get washing. I usually start with the Camaro, because it's the vehicle I care the very most about, and all my stuff will be freshest and cleanest when I start on that, and then we'll work our way across. So off to the races here. We'll be back with you in a minute. Okay, well, we're going to turn this into a little bit more of a tips and tricks video for doing winter wash. And one thing I wanted to point out real quick is if you've got a coating on the car or you've got a really well waxed car, always take some time with that pressure washer and really work it with the pressure washer before you just do anything else. Just use plain water on it, go to town, come in, you'll see, you get this buildup, right? And that buildup occurs around some of these places in the vehicle all over where you get salt and dirt and debris, junk piled up. So make sure you come in and take a look. You got a well-coated car. Okay, now is this clean down here? When you look at this, maybe on video it looks okay, but there's still, and this is wet so I don't feel that bad doing it, but there's still a film of stuff on there, and you'll see as it dries and the water moves away with the coating that there's still that layer of dirt that's on here. But what you did just get rid of, and if you look down here on the ground, what looks like a bunch of sand and dirt that's falling off this thing right now, that stuff was all stuck onto the vehicle. So if you have a really well-coated car that's been ceramic coated, or you keep wax on it, or you really, are very attentive to your car's finish, take the time with the pressure washer before you go in with anything mechanical, or even your foam gun, to just blast everything you can off the car. It costs nothing to do this. Water is basically free, particularly here in the Midwest. If you live in the desert Southwest, you're not worried about rusting cars with salt. So it's a different set of problems. So go to town with your pressure washer. You can see the buildup, like right there is a great example. That actually is something you can feel physically with your fingers, the grit. And so you'll just come in, take the time with your pressure washer. And you can see all the stuff coming off down there. And that costs nothing. I mean, it's just a freebie. So you'll see it's still dirty back here. When you look and you see there's still dirt on the paint right there, that's fine. We're gonna foam gun it. We're gonna go through a whole process to wash it. Same thing with all these vehicles. But if your car is normally pretty clean and you've gotten it really dirty, go to town with this guy. That's probably my first tip. Other than make sure you centralize all your work stuff so it's just easy. But you can see up here, there's a lot of buildup right behind the rear wheel, right in that little low pressure area there, on the mirror, in the wheel wells. Just really take 5-6 minutes with the pressure washer and just go to town really cleaning out all those crevices, because otherwise you're going to pick that stuff up with those microfibers, even though they're clean in that bucket, and you're just going to rub it around on the car and really ruin the finish. So it is great too. I love this. Man, aren't ceramic coatings cool? Isn't that awesome? I could do that all day. All right, cool. Well, we're going to keep working on this, but that's probably tip number 1, is really take time with the pressure washer, go to town. Okay, well, we just used our foam gun to foam the car down, and I'll share with you 2 more quick tips that I always use when I'm washing a car. And again, the goal here is to be as quick and efficient as possible. You foam the car down, you want to let the chemicals that you've used in your solution here work on the dirt that's on the car to try to lift it off that paint, off that beautiful ceramic coated blue on this car. What I now suggest is you come in and you foam the wheels too, but come in and actually clean your wheels. And so you'll just get going, and I like to put a nice coating of wheel cleaning spray on your wheels. Again, this stuff dilutes down. It tends to be relatively cheap, so you can kind of go to town with it a little bit. Make sure you get in there and get your calipers good and get the barrels a little bit. What I like about doing it this way is you can let those chemicals that are in the foam gun stuff, all the stuff you just sprayed on the vehicle, really work on the vehicle for a few minutes. It's not a bright sunny day. We're not worried about the car. It's cold out. We're not worried about the car drying. And potentially having this stuff kind of cake on and then have to remove it again. Take the time now, do your wheels right now. So I sprayed that guy first. It sat for maybe 30 seconds to a minute or so. I'll wheel my wheel my handy dandy cart right back here, spin it around so my wheel bucket is right in front, and I'm going to do all the wheels first. So that's probably my other tip here, is just to make sure you're doing things in the right order. Try to be efficient with your time, because no one really wants to be out here on a 45-degree day getting cold. You're much better off taking a few minutes, coming in with your brush, cleaning these up as best you can, getting those calipers clean, and doing all that good stuff, and just getting the wheels back to where you want them, then come back to the paint. So you're going to spend probably 5 to 10 minutes on this total. I find it takes a couple minutes per wheel, and then you come back through, and then you get your paint, and you're being efficient with your time. Because when you got 3 cars to wash, 4 cars to wash, maybe you do this as a detailer, sometimes professionally, and you're just like, man, I just don't want to have to kind of screw around washing, just taking time doing stuff. Do this first, get your order right, have a kind of a method of production here for how this goes, and go from there. But we'll get these all spiffed up and be back with you. We'll throw another quick tip at you guys. When you walk around the car after you've soaped it and soaped it down, and you've now done your mechanical action of wash, which is using your microfibers to pull any lifted contaminants off the paint. You kind of glide over the paint. Is just do a quick walk around before you rinse it down. Just double check everything. So, you know, take that 30 seconds. You don't have the sun beating on it, and you're going to notice something like this. Like, we're all human, we miss spots. And so you can come back through with a microfiber, and you notice, like, hey, we missed right on the edge of this wheel because we were probably trying not to drag our microfiber over this. Just come back through with another microfiber, touch it up real quick. Just make sure you really got that spot good. That means when you move to the drying process, you're not going to have to try to remove that stuff in an environment where you don't have that lubrication and lifting power of the soap on the vehicle. So take a minute, walk around it, grab a clean microfiber that's got soapy water on it, one of these guys right here, and just, you know, double check your work. And it's not hard just to come back through and say, hey, I missed the other side, maybe we'll touch up this side too. This is clean, brand new clean, and we'll just come in, no pressure, right there, just like that across there, and make sure that we didn't miss anything. This is another area I tend to find I miss stuff on, your mirrors, around that, get into the edges on your windshield, those body lines up on top, around the side and back. Again, there is zero downside to doing this. Takes a few seconds now, barely pulled anything off. Did see, oh, look at that, we got a little pebble right there that we just got off the paint. That now when we go to dry it, we're not gonna grind that back into the paint. So there's a quick tip for you. I'm of course going to now get my GoPro very soapy as we're working on it, but just something for you to do right before you do that final rinse step and move to drying. Well, the car's fully rinsed. We've done the once around we just talked about to make sure that there's no little spots we missed. And now you're gonna take well, I like these larger format microfibers for this, but you're gonna take a clean microfiber and come through and just, as lightly as you can, remove 80–90% of the water from the car. You don't need to use any pressure here, guys. The microfiber, the way the fibers work in a microfiber, they're like a Velcro. And if you've got a nice ceramic coat in your car, look at the dry action you're going to get on that right after you do that. So really cool opportunity to come through and just use no pressure at all. Just make sure you don't drop this on the ground, and just remove all that water just like that. So if you don't use any pressure, you're really not at risk for scratching anything. You're not trying to scrub the car clean. You're simply trying to remove the water off it. Those are two different things. And if you do run into spots that are still dirty or whatever else, you can always come back through if you've got your wash bucket and just touch up a spot. It's not gonna hurt anything. So easy does it. Well, what you're gonna find is as you do this for a few minutes and you kind of glide most of the water off the car, I do recommend you do the glass first. And then move towards your paintwork, so kind of the top of the car down. And that I find that the top of the car tends to be cleaner. So if you missed spots at the top of the car, you're not going to potentially drag dirt then across the paint. If you started at the lower of the car and there's some dirt left, you're going to end up rubbing it around up here more at eye level where it's way more noticeable. So you're going to find that you're going to get about halfway through here, quarter of the way through, and this microfiber is completely soaked. So take a minute, do your best here to just wring it out. It doesn't have to be dry. You know, it's just got to not have saturation. So you just wring it out really good, just like that. And watch this again. This is kind of the crazy part after you wring it out. It's going to do just as good of a job as it did before in removing the water off the car, which is really crazy when you look at it. Because this is now back to its Velcro microfiber state. So what I recommend is getting this as a tip. Get this wet, get it unwet, wring it out, just like this. And once you get the car down to here, down to where you can just see a little bit of that water streaking left, get a dry one of these, completely dry, mist it with spray detailer, and then wipe the car down. That's the easiest way to get that final dry with that little bit of pop in it. And then you've just added a little tiny bit of protection with that spray detailer, kind of made it look right. And you can wax the car after that. You can put, you know, coatings on it. If you're doing a tear down wash, you can do things like that after. But that's just a quick tip for how to dry without introducing a ton of scratches to the car. Some people will tell you to use a leaf blower. If you've got a leaf blower, cool, go ahead, blast as much off the car as you can. But this is the solution that if you pay 10 or 15 bucks for a big pack of these microfibers, it's an easy solution. Not everybody's got a leaf blower and can do all that cool stuff, or a master blaster. Those things are awesome, but you know, they're like $700. And I like washing my car, but there's other things in my life I'd rather spend $700 or $600 on. So that said, quick tip to dry the car and just how you get it sort of detail dry. You can see there's a little bit of water residue left on there. You make a second pass, it's nearly completely gone. This panel is now ready to do that final dry step. So we're gonna keep working our way around the car, and appreciate you guys tuning in, seeing some quick winter detailing tips on this beautiful Midwest tanning sort of Saturday. Well, another thing I'll mention is that if you're like me and you live in the Midwest, you probably have these really cool floor liners. Maybe WeatherTech or Husky, or even the factory now, or OEM, are selling them. And you'll find that in the winter, they end up looking like crap because they go from being this nice matte black all the way through to being lightly salted. So one thing I recommend doing here real quick is just hit them with a little bit of wheel cleaner. Which, you know, you have a non-acid wheel cleaner. If it doesn't hurt the rubber on your tires, it's probably not going to hurt the rubber on these. And if they're really, really bad, you can actually agitate them, which these guys aren't bad at all. But you can get in there with like a wheel brush or just a scrub brush and agitate them. But what I like to do is then take the pressure washer and just use that water pressure to blast them clean. And in less than 20 seconds, you're back to a nice matte looking clean floor mat, just like magic. So one thing I like about that then is I can take this on a decent day. If it's not super cold like today, I can sit that there vertically, I can let it hang out, and then no big deal, no problem. It's going to dry. I can even pull the car back in the garage in a few minutes. Shouldn't be an issue at all, and then throw them back in. So we'll do the other one here real quick, just with the pressure washer, but that's a really easy way to get your mats looking really nice. Don't forget about it. Now that I've got the car dry and it looks super shiny and cool, there's nothing worse than then getting in the car and going, oh my God, I forgot to do that. So it's a great kind of cheapy tip, takes you another 2 minutes tops, and really lets you get a good finish out of the vehicle, makes it look nice. All right, well, that's pretty much it with the wash on our Camaro. We went through, took some time, did the exterior, kind of nice job on the wheels, blasted off our mats over there that are drying right now, and then got it good and dry. And it's actually now ready to get back pulled into the garage. So we're gonna get the garage door open, park the car inside, and with it being a nice heated garage, that will help to start accelerate the drying of the vehicle. If you're going to leave it outside, one thing I'll mention to you to think about is, see this? This is why you do the walk around before you pull it back in. You get a little bit of drip off the bottom of that mirror. So before you pull it back inside, or if you are leaving it outside and it's going to get way below freezing tonight, you might want to think about whether or not you want to wash it or not, because the risk you always run when it's way below freezing and you wash a car is that you're not going to be able to get into it tomorrow. Things can get frozen. So just something to think about if you're going to go do this. Be a little cognizant of what the weather forecast looks like later today, tonight, tomorrow, if you have to leave the car outside. If it's going to sit inside in a heated garage like this overnight or for a few days or whatever, not a problem at all. So that said, we're gonna get this kind of final dry, just touch up a few little spots. We're gonna get it parked and we're gonna move on to our other 2 vehicles. But I just want to say thank you to you guys for tuning in, for liking, subscribing, taking a few minutes to enjoy seeing us get a tan out here on this beautiful Michigan tanning weathered sort of day here in the Midwest in January. But I'll take it. It's a great opportunity to be outside and get a little free therapy working on the cars. So again, like, comment, subscribe. Appreciate you guys' engagement and enjoying this with us. Have a great day.